He hits it, it's the...
This is such a...
At that time, I'm never one that enjoys being in the media too much.
Is there an inside edge? Is there an...
Oh, talk about timing! Crowd go!
Welcome back to Cricket Insights. If you watched the previous video about Jacques Kallis's prime moments, you already know we're talking about a player of unparalleled class.
By the captain, Stuffield to Kallis, top edged again, but that's cleared the wicket keeper, nearly cleared the road.
But today, we're going further. We're going to talk about something that's often overlooked, something most people might not realize, how poorly Jacques Kallis was treated during his career, despite having the stats that make him one of the greatest cricketers of all time. And honestly, it was extreme.
And I think that honesty shone through in the end. Well, I don't think there's a like-for-like substitution for Jacques Kallis. You know, I think it's probably an area that we need to focus on in terms of bringing all-rounders through.
It went so far that Kallis was almost mentally broken by it. Imagine this.
Based on that? Yeah, there probably is. I think our wickets are probably right up there with the toughest wickets to bat on. You know, we've got to deal with perhaps a little bit more uneven bounce than around the world. You know, obviously some sideways movement because we've always been known for our wickets for fast bowlers. So
you've just scored over 10,000 runs and taken 290 wickets in Test cricket.
Slug away, Jacques Kallis. He's dealing boundaries and it's a hero maximum.
You have nearly 12,000 runs and 270 wickets in ODIs. You've hit the balls, you've bowled the balls, and you've led your country to victory time and again. Yet despite all these impressive achievements, your name isn't mentioned in the same breath as the greatest cricket icons, players who may never have put up the numbers you have. This was Jacques Kallis's harsh reality. His achievements were absolutely legendary, but the appreciation never followed. Kallis, the man who elevated South African cricket to new heights, often didn't receive the recognition he deserved.
You know, even yesterday, getting those 4 wickets yesterday, we knew it was going to be hard, and we had to create those half chances, which I think our bowlers really did.
While other cricketers like Sachin Tendulkar, Lara, and Shane Warne were constantly praised, Kallis was often placed in the background.
Oh, that is a great delivery. That is terrific fast bowling from Shoaib Akhtar. 150.6 k's per hour. A bit of a smile from Jacques Kallis, which I must say is...
And this happened despite the fact that he's the only player in history to have both more than 10,000 runs and over 290 wickets in Test cricket. In ODIs, he has nearly 12,000 runs and over 270 wickets to his name. His statistics alone should be enough to place him among cricket's all-time greats, yet he was so often overlooked.
Right, they know exactly where this ball is heading. This is such a contrast.
This wasn't just frustrating for Kallis, it was downright painful. How could someone with such incredible numbers and such a huge contribution to his country, both on and off the field, be treated so poorly? It seemed his role as an all-rounder might have left him in the shadows of other cricket legends, and it took a huge mental toll on him. It's time to acknowledge that Jacques Kallis was not just a cricket giant, but also a man who was all too often underestimated and mistreated. Despite the huge numbers and records that mark his name, he had to deal with an unjust lack of respect. What do you think? Did Kallis get the recognition he deserves? Or is he indeed one of the greatest oversights in cricket history? Let us know in the comments.
Oh, not like that. That's 6 as well. That's gone way over the top of mid-on. Now that's an example.
Jacques Kallis wasn't just underestimated on the field, he was downright mistreated. Despite his incredible stats, he was repeatedly criticized for his playing style. Instead of exciting crowds with spectacular shots, Kallis chose consistency and stability, and that very aspect.
Down the track this time and into the crowd. That is a great shot from Mike Hussey.
What made him such an undeniable force was labeled boring. How absurd is that? A player who scored more than 10,000 runs and took nearly 300 wickets in Test cricket was dismissed because he didn't display the same flashy flair as an A.B. de Villiers or Lara. The media and fans wanted drama, sensation, and spectacle, but Kallis had a different approach.
I think it's probably because of my personality. I've played my whole career sort of being a low-key player and found that I've performed best at that. I'm never one that enjoys being in the media too much or fronting up too much.
Patient, focused, reliable, and he was heavily criticized for it. Instead of being praised for his stability, which literally formed the foundation for his team, he was dismissed as too conservative.
Hopefully, kids will now, really inspire to want to be a Jacques Kallis. This is hard work to be able to bowl and bat and catch, so it requires a really special human being.
While other stars were lauded for their flair, Kallis was consistently overshadowed, as if his performances held less value simply because he didn't always steal the show. It took a repeated mental toll on him. He gave everything for his country, yet often didn't receive the recognition he deserved. It simply wasn't fair. Throughout his career, Jacques Kallis often became the victim of a persistent stereotype: South Africa's tendency to choke in major tournaments. Despite his excellent performances in the 2007, 2011, and 2015 World Cups, he was repeatedly singled out as one of the players unable to lead his team to victory. In 2007, when South Africa was knocked out in the quarterfinals, Kallis faced heavy criticism.
Quietly pass on the knowledge that I can and have acquired over the years onto the guys that want to hear it. So that's, I suppose, in a nutshell, how I would sum up how I've played my cricket.
Even though he was one of the few who actually proved his worth. In 2011, following the painful semi-final defeat to New Zealand, he was once again in the crosshairs. While other players underperformed, his solid contribution was overshadowed by the team's loss.
In one game at a time, we play well tomorrow and try and get away with a win. Then we'll worry about our last game then. But as far as the rest of the teams are concerned, we're not really worried about what they're doing.
The same occurred in 2015, when South Africa was once again eliminated in the semi-finals, and Kallis was once more seen as partly to blame. The media and fans placed enormous pressure on Kallis, as the experienced all-rounder who was supposed to secure the title. Despite his crucial contributions, the spotlight was always on the team's failures. This repeated and often unjust criticism took a significant mental toll on Kallis. It felt as though he was being blamed for something over which he had little control, and it dealt a heavy blow to his mental well-being. Jacques Kallis had a career that, while brilliant, didn't always receive the appreciation it deserved. It's almost tragic how it often went. A player who dedicated his entire life to cricket, who carried the South African team on his shoulders time and time again, did not always get the recognition during his active years. It was only after his retirement that the world began to realize what a legend Kallis truly was.
It's wide, it's in the air, and he's gone. What a wicket. Exceptional bowling. Again, it's caught by...
After he stepped away from the international scene in 2014, the respect for Kallis really started to blossom. It was as if the world finally understood the full weight of his achievements. His undeniable numbers in both Test and one-day cricket, over 10,000 runs and 290 wickets in Test cricket, nearly 12,000 runs and 270 wickets in ODIs, were truly acknowledged only once he was no longer an active player. Players, fans, and critics finally concluded that Kallis was not only one of the greatest all-rounders of all time, but also one of the greatest cricketers, period. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case during his active years. While other players stood in the spotlight, often praised for their flair and undeniable charisma, Kallis was not fully recognized for the stability and consistency he provided.
Yeah, I mean, he likes leading from the front, leads with a lot of energy and that, so he's obviously got a lot of experience and understands the game pretty well, so it's been a fairly smooth transition.
He was often blamed for South Africa's choking in major tournaments, despite the fact that his contributions during those tournaments were crucial. It was as if people couldn't see that Kallis was the very foundation upon which South Africa's success was built, even if the team didn't always win the big prizes. Now, years after his retirement, Kallis's legacy is finally seen in the proper light. Today, he's viewed not just as one of the greatest all-rounders in cricket history, but as a symbol of what it means to be a true cricket professional, disciplined, dedicated, and always willing to give everything for his country, even when it didn't always receive the recognition it deserved. What remains after Kallis's career isn't just his impressive statistics, but the way he fulfilled his role as an all-rounder with such craftsmanship and dedication. Kallis's legacy is one of resilience and tireless commitment to the game. His name will forever be linked to cricket greatness, even if it wasn't always acknowledged during his playing years. His contribution to the sport is unmatched, and although he was often undervalued, one thing is clear. Jacques Kallis created a legacy that stands the test of time. The honor he receives today is well-deserved, but it's a bittersweet reminder that many of the greatest heroes are truly recognized only after they step away. Kallis remains a legend whose impact on the game of cricket can't be measured, not by flair or spectacle, but by the undeniable power of his achievements. Thank you for watching, and remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you can experience our following cricket insights. See you in the following video. Bye for now.